The Fish Lake Trail with lighting and warning systems in the BNSF tunnel.
Phase 2, which is the bigger phase that has the switchback through Highbridge Park, is set for 2027 construction. So 2 years from now, we'll see a whole new connection.
Reporting in Spokane, Melinda Lee, NonStop Local.
Snyder sees the Fish Lake Trail Connection project also benefiting those who commute by e-bike. He feels the 2 paved trails are great for people who also require wheelchairs or assisted walking to get out in nature as well.
Coming up to Market Euclid, he just crashed into 2 vehicles.
In Spokane Valley, a reported reckless driver crashed and police had to chase 2 suspects down, first by car, then by foot. Video from Air One here shows the full chase. Deputies arrested 25-year-old Caitlin Corkins and 29-year-old Jacob Ball. No one in the hit vehicles needed further medical care.
One of Pope Leo's brothers is the victim of a recent bomb threat. Chicago area police say they received the message about John Prevost's home Wednesday night. They say they evacuated the area to be safe but found no explosives. Recent social media posts from President Donald Trump criticized the Pope. Now that's because the pontiff is standing by the Bible's message of peace amid the Iran war.
As we come on the air tonight, a Prosser man is pleading not guilty to child abuse charges. Why investigators believe there could be more victims. Plus, traffic deaths impacting Spokane County families. Resources one attorney says are available to those in need. And a new recovery center opens in Kennewick. How it's designed to give people hope.
And we are tracking the warming trend as we head into your Sunday and into your Monday, along with the system that moves in next week. Your NonStop Local Pulse Prime starts now.
Covering the content that connects our communities. You're watching NonStop Local Pulse Prime.
Yeah, welcome to Pulse Prime. I'm Heidi Miley. We do want to jump right into the weather. Boy, has it sure been sunny this weekend. People are trying to get out and enjoy it, Tori.
I know, and we're going to be actually seeing a warming trend start to develop as soon as tomorrow. We're going to start to see some of those temperatures into the upper 70s across the Tri-Cities, Yakima, as well as Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Seeing some warmer temperatures for this time of year. Current conditions are getting cooler. We have about 47 degrees towards Coeur d'Alene, 54 degrees as we head towards Spokane, slightly cooler for Tri-Cities, a little bit warmer as we head towards Yakima. We're starting to see some clouds move in. This is going to be an increasing cloud day as we head into your Sunday, and the majority of the day going to stay mostly cloudy. As far as the highs, it's going to be one of the warmer days of the season so far. Some areas, again, getting close to 80 degrees. Take a look at about 5 p.m. for Yakima, 75 degrees. Winds are going to be pretty calm as we head into your day. We do have a warming trend to talk about. That's going to continue all the way through Tuesday, but you see it taper off by Wednesday. That's because we have increasing clouds. We have another system coming in that'll bump up our rain chances for Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have more on that coming up shortly.
Yeah, thank you, Tori. A crime tracker for you now. A 36-year-old man is pleading not guilty to 3 charges related to child sexual assault. Prosecutors say this case involves years of abuse involving a minor who is the suspect's daughter. Court documents say the alleged abuse happened at Cesar Munoz's home in Prosser from 2017 through 2024, involving a victim who was younger than 12 at the time. Investigators say the case came to light after the victim talked about this abuse to a friend. Detectives seized multiple electronic devices and believe that there may be additional victims who haven't come forward. The judge set bail at $300,000 and ordered Munoz to have no contact with the alleged victim or anyone younger than 16. And detectives do need anyone with information to reach out, especially since they believe there are more victims. And in Walla Walla, a 27-year-old man's in custody after police say he abused his 3-month-old daughter. Hospital staff members called detectives in, saying that they found significant injuries on the baby. Doctors transferred the infant out of the area to a different hospital. Police interviewed the parents and then took Dallas Fletcher Granger into custody on 5 counts of child assault. Police are working with child welfare for the baby. And in Worden, police arrested 2 teens for assault after reports of a fight and shots fired at Worden City Park last night. Officers detained several suspects and witnesses identified 2 who ran. Police then found a 19-year-old nearby and then found a 17-year-old the next morning and arrested both. Officers say the gunfire didn't hurt anybody, but one person has a stab wound. Well, right now, the Columbia Valley Recovery Center is now open, offering a non-religious affiliated option for addiction. Chris Wright shows us what it's offering.
We started the program in 2018 on my back porch, actually. It was a group of friends who had experienced addiction in their families and were concerned about the lack of services close by.
That group of friends on the back porch was the seed for what now sits near the corner of West 10th and South Benton, formerly the Kennewick General Hospital, and now the Columbia Valley Center for Recovery. The project born out of tragedy.
My son developed addiction as a teenager, and he was in addiction for over 20 years.
But nursed by the community. Gerber says they've already accepted $3 million from private donations.
I've talked to business owners across the street. I've talked to residents who live across the street. They had questions and concerns and things, but as you talk through it and you show them what we're doing here, they're really excited to see it happen.
No Wrong Door is the defining philosophy behind the center. Someone facing addiction can voluntarily admit themselves, but there's also an involuntary section serving as a liaison between the jail cell and the emergency room.
Our jail does a great job with mental health and substance use treatment, but it's not a facility for people who are trying to clean up and get better.
72-hour care as well, a crisis stabilization unit, and a mental health unit. These sections have comprehensive health care on staff, optionality in boarding with single, double, and some quad rooms, since some patients require privacy while others need accountability. That's one aspect of recovery Rasmussen learned after speaking with his uncle, revealing his own personal connection to the project.
When this project first came to me, my commissioner walked in and said, "You're an engineer, I need to build a building." I'm like, "I can build a building." As I got involved in it, I really started finding a very personal connection with it.
The space also comes with a gym, laundry rooms, computer rooms, classrooms, common areas, courtyards, a kitchen, natural light, spring-inspired murals, and a special family room for birthdays and celebrations, small or large, for patients or their families. The coalition and Benton County hoping that these design choices make patients feel less like they're in an institution like a jail or a military base.
People have to be given a chance to have hope and a new beginning, not just punishment.
Reporting from Kennewick, Chris Wright, NonStop Local.
In continuing coverage, we are tracking traffic-related deaths and how reckless driving impacts Spokane County. Here's a look at the numbers. Spokane averages 84 incapacitating crashes a year. That means severe or deadly injuries. The Spokane attorney says the aftermath of serious traffic accidents can be overwhelming for victims and families. Bryce McParland, a lead attorney who handles collision and death cases, says the impact of these incidents goes far beyond the courtroom. He shares his advice on how families can get the help they need when faced with this situation.
Probably the best pieces of advice that I could say is take the legal stuff off your plate. You know, take the investigation aspect off your plate. Let somebody else handle that. We have great attorneys. We have a great bar association in Spokane, great attorneys who know how to do this stuff, and there's a lot of help out there to people who need it.
McPartland advises early investigations crucial and urges families to seek legal help so that professionals can handle the complexities while they focus on healing within their families. Okay, I want you to look at the screen here, and we've got a crazy picture. A small plane made an emergency landing earlier today on eastbound Highway 14 in Vancouver, Washington. There it is by the time it made it over to the side. So emergency crews closed. Like, look at that. Look at that. There's the plane right in front of all of those cars there, right on the highway. So the crews closed that right lane. The State Patrol slowed traffic so the plane could get down there and taxi to an exit. All lanes did reopen about an hour later. No injuries reported, and the plane continued to the Pearson Airport. Okay, guys, we need to take a look at this. A tank is turning heads in central Washington, but this one is not on the battlefield. It's one, oh, guys, you know, you could buy it. Are you in the market for a tank? Yeah, here you go. Let's look at it. 1968 SAR armored personnel carrier for sale in Quincy, $110,000. Cold War era vehicle is drivable, starts up easily. Being sold in what the owner says is just excellent condition. The original camouflage and Austrian military markings are there. The turret is intact. None of the weapons work anymore. The seller says the tracks, the suspension, the overall body, all strong, making it a standout compared to other surplus military vehicles. Okay. All right. Well, first off, I do not know what you would do with that. I'm not quite sure what one would do with the tank. I mean, if you could put some lawnmowers on there, I could use that.
That could be one heck of a lawnmower.
Right. I mean, I don't think you could take it on the street.
I don't think so. I don't think they're street legal. But it would be very funny if you put a little license plate on the front. Here's this tank and got your license and registration.
That would be
registration right there.
Yeah. I guess just for collectors, guys. Okay. I guess just for a collector there.
Yeah.
Hey, well, as you can tell, Austin's here. We're going to go over to sports. After looking like they shook off a slow start, Seattle Mariners have found themselves in the middle of another losing streak.
No.
Austin, man, we had the hockey team having troubles last night. What, now bad news for the Mariners?
It's just the way it is, you know, right now. It's just really tough. You know, the Mariners, they win a bunch of games, then they lose a bunch of games. They just can't seem to get out of their own way right now, Heidi. But trying to get back on the right swing of things after they dropped the series opener against the Rangers last night. The team hasn't dug themselves too deep of a hole yet to climb out of, but they got to put down the shovel soon. Second game of this series against Texas. The Rangers, again, taking the first game last night. The Mariners wasted no time trying to snap this four-game losing streak. Julio Rodriguez with an RBI single in the first inning to get Seattle on the board first. Now, George Kirby was getting the start for the Mariners on the mound. He's in trouble here in the fourth with the bases loaded, but he gets out of it without allowing a run, picking up the last out of the inning on a harmless flyout to center field. The Mariners would waste no time to get him more breathing room. Dominic Canzone blasts one through the infield, brings home 2 runs as Seattle takes a 3-0 lead. The Rangers do finally get their first run on a solo homer, but Luke Raley exacts some revenge with his 5th long ball of the year. It does get dicey in the 9th inning, but the Mariners do pick up the win, so now they'll go for the series win tomorrow with the rubber match against the Rangers at 110. Now, Heidi, we talked about it. This team, they win games, they lose games, they win games. Let's try to win some for a while. Let's go out on a long winning streak. That would be great.
Let's start up a little pattern here.
That'd be nice.
Get on the win
Definitely
column.
be nice.
All right, thank you, Austin. Hey, still to come tonight on Pulse Prime. Bloomsday is happening without a familiar face. How you can support and keep Tim, our good friend Tim there, connected to that race.
We are tracking the warmer temperatures across the inland northwest, and we're going to have rain chances return to our forecast by midweek. We'll be talking about that.
content, connecting community. You're watching The Pulse.
I'm Heidi Miley. Welcome to The Pulse. Turning now to the Middle East. The Strait of Hormuz is blocked again, Iran closing it over the U.S.'s continued blockade. The British military says a cargo vessel was attacked near the strait, and it was the second attack of today. The restoration of traffic through that strait lasted all of yesterday. CNN estimates at least 9 vessels got through. The U.S. and Iran are supposed to go back to negotiations. President Trump has maintained the blockade would stay until a broader deal was struck between Iran and the U.S. that included Iran turning over enriched uranium. Iran is reportedly reviewing new U.S. proposals, but no timeline is set. Now, meanwhile, the 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon appears to be holding after more than a month of war between Israel and Hezbollah. And the French president says one French soldier was killed and 3 others injured this morning during attack against the UN peacekeeping force in southern Lebanon. Both President Macron and UNIFIL are blaming Hezbollah. And turning to gas costs quickly, nationally, it's around $4 a gallon. In Washington, $5.30. In Idaho, $4.30. That's it from The Pulse, but we will have much more for you right after the break. We are continuing our countdown to Bloomsday, and we are excited to once again bring you the race live on SWX. But one of our favorite participants may not be able to take the lap with you this year. We are about 2 weeks out to Bloomsday, and our own Tim Adams has just a long history and love of this race. In fact, the only race he's ever missed, guys, was the first one. That's the only one he's missed. And it was a conversation ahead of the second race with Don Cardong that started Tim on his Bloomsday journey.
I was so infected. I would do anything to run every Bloomsday after that. And in fact, when I got a job in Salt Lake, I got off that weekend to come up here and run Bloomsday from Salt Lake. Then when I got a job in Boise, I also came back up for Bloomsday, and that's the way it was. In fact, I joined the Bloomsday Roadrunners Club and became captain of our corporate team at work.
Yeah, did you guys see that on his couch there? All those Bloomsday t-shirts, I think, made into a quilt there. Well, unfortunately, a recent health issue might have Tim on the sidelines this year. So now we are calling out for all Tim Adams fans. We're calling it Team Tim here, and we want you to join. If you would like to get a free t-shirt, scan the QR code, go to nonstoplocal.com/Team Tim, read the rules, enter your name, your size. Note that quantities are limited. Entries close to they will close the evening of April 20th. Recipients will be randomly selected. We're going to email you when you can pick up your shirt if you are chosen. Okay, so that's our hope to honor Tim here. He loves running in that race. He's had a couple hiccups health-wise here, so we're getting other folks out. One thing I'm going to say to you, Tori, he's on your weather team. And when I first came here to these studios, the biggest encourager for me, standing by me, encouraging me, Tim Adams.
Oh, I've heard nothing but great things about him. I personally haven't met him yet, but I'm excited to meet him. Hopefully when he returns, I hope soon.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll get these folks running for him in Bloom State.
Yes, it's a great cause. Make sure to sign up for it. We're going to go out there and support him. In the meantime, let's take a look at some of your temperatures. I do want to take you guys outside. Here's a look across the region. Yakima, Tri-Cities, as well as Spokane. Into those mid-50s at this time. Tri-Cities just a little bit cooler. Clouds are going to start to move in overnight, and that's going to be the trend heading into your Sunday. So just keep in mind, it's going to be a little bit cloudy, but don't worry, those warmer temperatures will be out in no time. Forecast lows across the area are going to be into the mid-30s tonight. Some areas are closer to 40, that's Tri-Cities, and even down to Pendleton. In the meantime, Bonners Ferry right at 37 degrees, Missoula right at about 32. Clouds will increase for your Sunday. We just have a trough going on. That's going to just increase the clouds for the day. But we do have warmer temperatures. It's a trend, a warming trend all the way through your Tuesday. Some areas even reaching close to about 80 degrees. We're seeing those rain chances increase by the midweek. I'm talking about Tuesday to Thursday with this coastal low just off the coast of Oregon and California at this time. As for now, we get some of those warmer temperatures here in the inland Northwest. This trend again all the way through your Tuesday. So some areas again going to be closer to about 80 degrees with this trend. Highs tomorrow are going to be into the mid 70s. Those areas that are nearing us 80 degrees is going to be about Moses Lake, Tri-Cities, and even further into northern Oregon. We have about 67 towards Sandpoint for a high tomorrow and about 64 as we head even further into the Idaho Panhandle. As we head into Tuesday, that's when the temperatures really start to take a turn. It's going to be a warm day, but overnight, those temperatures start to drop. Highs are going to be back to average for this time of year. By the time we get to Wednesday, that's all ahead of the next weather maker. Low pressure starting to move in. By Tuesday evening, you can see those showers become a bit more widespread, some heavier pockets at time when we get into the overnight hours of your early Wednesday morning. By 7 a.m., most of us seeing some of that rainfall. Some areas definitely seeing a little bit of thunder associated with this system. There is just a little bit of instability. And remember, if you hear thunder, make sure to head indoors. That's a really important part. Most of the rain out of here by about Thursday, Friday, and Saturday looking great in terms of the sky. We're seeing some sunshine. Temperatures will be closer to average by Friday and Saturday. Here's Yakima, Tri-Cities, Spokane, and Coeur d'Alene. High of 77 for Tuesday. It's going to be a hot one. We'll be right back after this.
from the Northern Quest Sports Studio. This is SWX NonStop Local Sports.
Spokane Indians were walk-off winners last night, scoring the game's only run in the bottom of the 10th. Tonight, though, offense was not an issue. For Vancouver, that is. The Canadians strike for 11 runs to blow out Spokane and pick up the win. Now tomorrow, the finale of this 6-game series, the Indians trying to salvage a 3-3 split. It'll start at 1:05. Spring game is drawing closer for Eastern Washington. Today, the Eags held their first scrimmage of spring camp in Cheney. Grady Glover was there where the EWU defense rose to the occasion.
First scrimmage of the year in the books for Eastern Washington, and while the offense scored on the very first play, it was the defense that stood out. 3 interceptions, and wanting to prove this fall that they can be dominant.
It's real football. Like, you're getting live experience, so it's the best way to grow, live and right there on the field. It's been different compared to last year. We have a new coaching staff and different people in the room, and we've just been connected together. And overall, it's just been a fun season over here.
Our defense is good, so we're just iron sharpens iron, So every day everyone's just getting better, and I'm not worried about the defense really, white jerseys.
The defense kind of had their way, and usually this time of year or in camp, usually the defense is ahead of the offense. But I think on top of being maybe not necessarily ahead, they had more energy.
And while Nate Bell threw both of the touchdown passes, the live scrimmages won't be the only way they determine the starter.
Nate did a good job handling the offense and handling the ball and not being a manager, but taking shots when necessary, but not giving up the ball because that's the most important thing on the field. Everything is evaluated regardless of that. It's not just in live situations because, when you really look at it, it's about 4 out of the 11 or 15 practices. 11 of them aren't.
Still a few more chances for the players to go live and try and work their way up the depth chart before the spring season caps off with the red and white game on May 1st. Reporting from Cheney, Grady Glover, SWX.
Grady, thank you. Meanwhile, the Idaho Vandals continue their spring camp as well. A.J. Howell tells us that one new addition to the Vandal roster is capturing attention down in Moscow.
Spring football can mean fresh faces. That's the case for the Idaho Vandals. The standout for this spring practice was running back DeMonte Bias.
He's a great player. Fast, he's strong, and he's going to burst through that hole and make plays, absolutely. Could see today, 2 touchdowns. He had a day. Axe player for a reason.
He's a guy that we're really excited about. We brought him and Ferrari in as guys that could help us right away, and DeMonte really has a skill set that's different than everyone else. He's a little bit faster top-end speed, not as big as the other guys, but because of his speed, quickness, and explosiveness, he was able to make a lot of plays today and touch that end zone a couple times too.
The junior RB comes to Moscow after playing for the El Camino Warriors.
That running back room, we got a lot of tough guys in there in that position. It's a competition, and it'll probably go all the way to fall camp. But those guys that are in there, they work hard, they keep pushing, and like I said, everyone's just trying to fine-tune their little details in their position.
AJ, thank you. Eastern and Idaho again will hold their spring games on Friday, May 1st. The Washington State Cougars hold their Crimson and Gray game a week from today, next Saturday, April 25th. In
Have a good night, everybody.
As we come on the air tonight, a Prosser man is pleading not guilty to child abuse charges. Why investigators